dia. Welcome to Foz do Iguaçu International Airport here in Brazil. Now, we've had 24 hours down here at the Iguaçu Falls and it's been the most amazing experience. Probably one of the best things I've seen in my life. But now it's time to head back to Rio de Janeiro. So today we're flying with Azul Brazilian Airlines via Sao Paulo, Viracopos. So hop on board with me. I'm going to show you both flights. First flight is from here to Sao Paulo, Viracopos, and then from Viracopos to Rio de Janeiro. 2 flights, 2 different flight reviews, all in one. How lucky you are. Let's get inside, get this trip started. Now, as much of a self-confessed avgeek that I profess to be, I hadn't actually heard of Azul Brazilian Airlines before booking this flight. So let's dive into a quick history on the airline. Azul was founded in 2008 by David Neeleman, the same aviation entrepreneur behind American carrier JetBlue. His mission was simple: to bring affordable and high-quality air travel to underserved regions of Brazil. Starting with just a few Embraer jets, Azul quickly expanded, connecting smaller cities to major hubs with a strong emphasis on customer service and onboard comfort. Today it's one of Brazil's largest carriers, known for its modern fleet, extensive domestic network, and international routes to destinations like the US and Europe, cementing its role as a major player in Latin American aviation. Well, now you're an Azul Brazilian Airlines expert, let's dive officially into this trip report. Our journey starts, as you well know, at Foz do Iguaçu International Airport, or otherwise known as Cataratas International Airport. And whilst it may not be one of Brazil's busiest hubs, it plays a vital role in connecting travellers to one of the country's most iconic natural wonders. Now, low cost doesn't always mean a total hassle, as Azul's app is actually quite good. It's very responsive, seat selection was a breeze, check-in worked first time after going through the usual stages, and at the end they issue you mobile boarding passes which you just add to your wallet on your phone. It's always nice to see low-cost carriers invest in good back-end applications that can actually handle things like check-in and seat selection properly. Even some legacy carriers in Europe struggle with this. Anyhow, we had a quick look around the landside part of the terminal, 3'2" can anyone, before heading through departures and into probably what is the world's smallest airport security area I've ever experienced. Let me know in the comments below if you know anywhere smaller. After security, you head upstairs to the departure area and through the duty-free area as well. Now, I usually don't cover duty-free, but this was quite a good one. Have you ever seen a wall of Pringles before? I probably guess not. There were some really unusual flavours here which we just had to try. There was also Chupa Chup lollies the size of my head, yes that's big, and a super selection of wines at prices so low they were almost giving them away. It's definitely worth bagging yourself a bargain if ever you're travelling through here. Oh, and these chocolate bars make the perfect souvenir too. After a spot of shopping, we were surprised to learn that we had access to not one, but 2 lounges here at Foz do Iguaçu International Airport, and today we opted for the Advantage VIP Lounge. So through security and now sat in the Advantage VIP Lounge. It's quite small. There's 2 lounges in this airport which sort of shocked us, and we're actually eligible for both. But we came in this one because it's the closest to our boarding gate for our first flight with Azul down to Sao Paulo, Viracopos. So we're here in the lounge. We've got about 20-25 minutes before we board. It's quite tight today. And it's quite a nice lounge. It's relaxing, it's fairly well lit. Food is very, very sparse. There's a nice array of drinks on offer and the staff seem very friendly. There's also Wi-Fi here as well and plug sockets to recharge all our kit, so no major complaints. We accessed here through Priority Pass. They also accept Lounge Key, and you can also pay if you don't have any sort of affiliated membership for lounges. You can just pay on a use by basis, to enter the lounge. So yeah, it's quite a nice little lounge to while away 25 minutes before we fly. The next time you'll see me, I should be sat on an Azul Airlines aircraft going down to Sao Paulo, Viracopos. Well, that 20 minutes flew by, and as we were leaving the lounge, we just got a chance to spot our inbound aircraft touchdown at the airport. Leg 1 of 2 will be on this 7-year-old A320neo, which was delivered to Avianca Brazil first, before joining the Azul family in 2019. With that though, it was time to head to the gate. Azul splits passengers into separate lanes. We were in lane 1, which we assumed would be the first to board, but in all honesty, it was a bit chaotic. Different lanes merged and people just did what they want with minimal correction from the gate agents, so we weren't really sure what the point of all these were in the end. This is the longest game of boarding, not boarding I think I've ever played. 3 different tunnels, lots of queues, lots of fun. I think we'll move in now though. Well, finally we were aboard, and upon boarding you'll notice that Azul's A320neo is in a 3-3 formation with grey and navy leather seats. And today we find ourselves in the emergency exit row on row 12, which, interestingly, Azul don't charge a premium for. So finally aboard after the longest game of boarding, not boarding, and just a quick time to do a bit of a piece to camera to let you know that we did make it on board this A320. Mixed review of the cabin so far. The aircraft in general, the seating looks quite dated, but it's nice to see that Azul Airlines have opted for the IFE, the in-flight entertainment system, so this is in use and operational for even the short domestic hops that Azul Airlines do, so that's a really nice touch. We're sat in 12 E&F on the emergency exit row, so legroom is a big plus, and we're about to push back, so I'll wait for us to get in the air, film it all as always, and then keep you posted on this trip down to Viracopos, flight 1 of 2 to Rio de Janeiro. Just a note, there's a small pop-out remote underneath the IFE in front of you, a cup holder for drinks, and a usual size tray table, lights, and yes, overhead personal air vents in the panel above your seat. A winner in this Brazilian heat. So bless their hearts, the crew have just raced around to get everybody on this A320neo fed and watered, which is quite nice to be fair, because it's such a short flight. I mean, as I record this now, we've got 25 minutes to go, been in the air 35, so you know, no sooner have these guys finished serving, you know, they'll be securing us in. So it's nice to see that they've really, you know, trying to get everybody on this aircraft a drink and a small snack. Of all the snacks in the world I thought Azul Brazilian Airlines would be serving, they didn't have gummy bears and Japanese style nuts down, but they're both very tasty. And I've gone for a grape juice, which, you know, looked quite nice and certainly smells quite nice. So and it passes the taste test. It tastes quite nice. Nothing like the synthetic grape style juice you get in the US. Tastes quite fresh and nice, so no complaints. So not much more really to say. I haven't even had time to get up on this one to do a loo review. It's been that quick. Spent most of this flight with my seatbelt on, strapped into the seat. So, but it's been a really nice flight. Super quick, super efficient, left on time. Crew are really, really friendly, lovely. Have done everything they can to kind of accommodate my filming when I boarded, which was really nice of them. So signing off now, we're going to be touching down into Viracopos shortly. We're starting our descent as we speak. I'll film that landing as always. Then it's on into Sao Paulo Viracopos Airport for a few hours. We've got about a 3.5 hour layover here before our flight down to Rio de Janeiro International Airport.
Aeroporto Internacional de Viracopos. São 11 horas e 56 minutos, horário local. Permaneça sentado com seus
As you can see, the seatbelt sign is seen more of a guide than an enforcement here in Viracopos, but we'd landed safely and we're about to begin our 3.5 hour layover in the terminal. Whilst waiting for the seatbelt sign to be switched off like the non-naughty passengers that we are, I got the chance to glimpse one of Azul's special Disney liveries, which was pretty cool, as well as one of the Embraer fleets that we were going to encounter on leg 2 of our journey with Azul. Now, when we were disembarking the plane, the crew had noticed I'd been filming some of the special liveries and escorted me out to get a proper shot of it, which I thought was super kind of them. So a huge thanks to you, Azul, that really did mean a lot. Now, hats off to Viracopos Airport because they've really made the process of connecting here super easy. Now, they have 2 separate floor markings, yellow for baggage reclaim and customs, and blue for connections, and they simply guide you to their respective areas. So very, very simple. Also, if you don't use airport lounges and rely on the facilities in airports, then you won't be disappointed. There were lots of eateries and even this small food court inside the connecting area, so you won't go hungry for sure. For us though, it was time to find the lounge, which is conveniently located in the connections area. There were 2 lounges available to us, and we decided to head to the Amber Club. There was a bit of a queue to get into the lounge, but we were soon in with minimal fuss, and when we did enter, we were also given a free gift each, which is the first time I've ever known this. It was a free laser-engraved keychain that was available from a store downstairs called Acium. Now, you send over the photographs to the staff on the counter, and they laser engrave them for you. Now, I think the ploy really is for you to buy a necklace or bracelet here, but we just opted for the free keyrings, and they were more than happy for us to do this. They gave us 2 bags to take them away in, and there certainly wasn't any pressure selling tactics on display, so that was really, really nice, and quite a perk really for Amber Club to be giving away these nice little laser keyrings. So I'm here in Sao Paulo Viracopos airport, so I'm waiting for our transfer to Rio de Janeiro International, and we're in the Amber Club lounge, which is one of the 3 lounges we get here with Priority Pass, but we came up the stairs and we saw this one and then another one called the Lounge, which is opposite this one. So if I get time, I'll pop over to there and do a quick sort of review of that one as well, so at least if you're ever transiting in this airport, which probably appeals to about 0.6% of my audience, you'll know at least which airport lounge to go and have a look at. But ultimately, it's quite a nice lounge to be fair, you know. If anything, it excels on its bar area and cocktails. Everything's fully inclusive, so we've been having caprinas all afternoon. No complaints whatsoever with that. So yeah, we've got about 2.5 hours to wait here now until we board a final flight back to Rio de Janeiro International, and that should be, as we speak, on an Embraer E190 aircraft, which means it's a 2-2 setup, 2-2 layout, so nobody to disturb on the 3rd seat with my filming. So yeah, just thought I'd keep you posted. I'll show you around, and if I get a chance I'll pop over to that other lounge as well and give you a tour of that one. Now, when I went to film the food, it was being switched over because there'd been quite a lot that had run out, but from what I could make out, you weren't missing much. It was 2 types of beef stew, rice, Brazilian cheese bread, and a salad bar. So with that disappointment, I'll follow through on my promise to show you the lounge, which is located just opposite from the Amber Club. The lounge, yes, that's its name, was aviation themed. It boasts flying planes dangling from the ceiling and propellers on the walls. Pretty unique in its design. It has a free bar, a games room for children or adults pretending to be children, a dedicated sectioned off work area, a fridge housing bottled still and sparkling water, a coffee machine, and something that really resembled that of a 7-Eleven food cabinet. It had Brazilian cheese bread, mini hot dogs with cheese, deep fried cheese balls. I mean, basically, if you love cheese, you're in luck. There was also breads, a bit of salad, some fresh fruit, mousse pots, and 1 type of sliced cake. Ultimately, not great either on the food front, but it's probably slightly better than the Amber Club. And after overdosing on cheese, it was time to head to our gate for leg 2 of 2 down to Rio de Janeiro. Boarding was done onto a coach as our aircraft was parked on a remote stand. Today, leg 2 of 2 back to Rio de Janeiro is on this 5.5-year-old Embraer E195 jet, delivered new to Azul in December 2019. I'm a big fan of Azul's livery. It's true to the colours of the Brazilian flag, whilst the tail fin is just a super colourful design. It really is quite nice. Now, the E195 is in a 2-2 seating configuration with blue and cream seats for Espaço Azul, Azul's premium product, and all cream seats for just standard economy. An interesting start to the flight, actually. The legroom is the smallest I've ever experienced. I'm used to kind of the Embraers that BA fly out of London City on their city fly route. This legroom is vastly reduced compared to that, so I am
crushed against the seat in front of me, and my husband, who's 6'3", is sort of legs spread wide open trying to fit into the seat and not doing a great job of it because there really is just no space at all. Also, when somebody sits in front of you, the seat rocks back and sort of crushes your knees, so that's an interesting experience. I don't know if the seat in front is just broken or if that's just the design, but an interesting start to say the least. Everyone's boarded, we're just sat waiting way ahead of schedule, refueling taking place, and then we're going to head off down to Rio de Janeiro International.
At least you don't have to be crushed and overheat on this E195 jet, as each seat has its own individual air vent. There's also a manual window blind to cover these rather large windows. Wi-Fi is advertised, but this didn't work on my device nor my husband's, and we heard a passenger opposite from us also saying that she couldn't connect. The IFE though was very good, extremely touch responsive and stocked with a variety of programmes and films. The irony being it would take me 5 legs to cram in a standard length film.
was quite a bumpy ride. We've got a lot of thunderstorm clouds above the airport, so we've spent the last sort of 10 minutes left, right, navigating those. A bit of a fun quiz though. I wanted to try and guess what Azul Airlines serve as snacks. The Embraer service is a little bit of a shorter service down to Rio de Janeiro. I'll give you 5 seconds to sort of have a little guess. Yes, it's the gummy planes, and of course the Japanese style nuts. Round 2. Was a quick one. Crew served everybody a drink, so we had a glass of Coca-Cola Zero, and of course those obligatory Japanese style nuts and the gummy planes, the gummy Azul planes. And as I record this now, we are pretty much starting our descent, so we're coming into land at Rio de Janeiro International, landing in about, it says on here, 18 minutes time, so we'll be touching down. I'll film the landing for you, and I hope you've enjoyed your little look into Azul Brazilian Airlines. No major complaints from us at all. It's been fairly comfortable. Legroom on this trip has been a bit of a struggle, but for 40 odd minutes you can't really complain. So big thank you to all the crew that I've encountered today that have put up with my filming antics. So I'll see you in the next one. It's probably the last time I'll speak to you before we touch down into Rio. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. So Azul really surprised us in the best way. From smooth check-in to on-time departures and genuinely warm service, it was a seamless experience across both of our flights. The aircraft were clean, the app was easy to use, and for the most part everything just worked. Yes, the legroom on our second leg was a bit tight, but when you consider we paid just £85 in total, £42.50 each for two separate flights, it's hard not to be impressed. This was excellent value for money and a great introduction to one of Brazil's most prominent airlines.
And as my husband runs off down the terminal, stroking the colourful ribbons like he's in a carnival parade, it just goes to show there's always time to let your inner child shine. From beautiful Rio de Janeiro here in Brazil, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss another upload. Plenty more aviation, travel and hotel content coming your way. See you in the next one.